It's Thursday, March 3rd, and this is news that you can use from YAA. And that must mean it's noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, with your hosts, Zach and Ray, back with, big news today.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now. Alex here with us. We appreciate that. Maybe YAA can buy them out. Then they would call it Rivian.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah, Rivian Motors.
Let's do a quick real-time check of the stock price of Rivian. I think it just went down as we said that, actually.
Probably,
yeah. Prognosis of Rivian.
Yeah.
Took it down a little bit more.
Maybe Rivian can buy Vroom.
We got a lot to talk about today. Yeah. Jordan's here with us. JL's here with us. Excuse me. Frank is here with us. Tim, good morning to you as well. MPEG, good to see you as well. Unknown is here with us. Neil's here with us. Matt too. Okay, here's the deal, Pops.
Okay.
Let's kick today's show off with what happened with Rivian, because I think it's truly fascinating. And actually, I think an example of good leadership. You're going to hear my case for that in just a second here. Good morning, Clay, as well. Then let's talk a little bit about what's going on with Ford. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with Vroom. Let's also give a bit of an update on what we're seeing with the war in Ukraine and the impact that it's having on automotive as well. There's an update there, too. We got Frank in the house. We got Turbo from Connecticut. I wonder where he's from, Connecticut, and Leon here with us as well. So let's kick things off with what happened over at Rivian.
Every time I see Leon's name, I keep thinking to myself, maybe that's the name that the Washington football team should have chosen. The Washington
Leons?
Majors.
Oh.
As opposed to the Washington Commanders.
I thought you meant the Washington Leons.
It could have been that too, but no, I was thinking more along the line of Majors.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the deal.
Yes.
That's a black screen.
It is.
We're going to change that. You ready?
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
March 2nd. Timestamps are very important today.
Yes.
Okay? March 2nd, 2022.
At 3:25 p.m. Eastern.
There may be more to Rivian's price hike than materials cost. Former executive Laura Schwab in a recent lawsuit said one reason she was fired was because she questions Rivian's pricing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened here?
Yes.
Rivian Automotive Incorporated has set a new bar for sticker shock in the electric vehicle area. The company is citing material costs, and they're boosting prices by as much as 20%. That's over $12,000. Our very own Justin Fisher on our team sent over some resources to me and my dad as well. Rivian announced significant price increases across the lineup that are resulting in some configurations going up by more than $12,000 and some by as much as $20,000. These price increases also apply to people who had reservations for years and they are not happy. Neither are shareholders. The stock was down 13.5% yesterday.
Yes.
Now, Justin sent us some Reddit screenshots, which honestly is a great resource to get a pulse on how people are feeling about a particular brand.
Yes.
This seems to me, most of the ones I saw emphasized the value, how fun it was to drive on the off-road with the quad motors and the comparisons to other cars for the price/performance it offered. This completely changes that. My guess is TFL Truck will be the first to pounce. Their viewers always seem to reach out on something like this. The more I stew on this, the more frustrated at Rivian. Specifically, this is so significant. The email should have come from him with more of a personal touch, complete CEO. People are pissed. I mean, like Justin's got screenshots everywhere of people being pissed off about this. And a poll that was put online, people are just canceling their orders.
Yes.
Now, why did I say this is a good example of leadership? Because
please.
March 3rd,
Yeah.
Let me zoom in. March 3rd, 2022 at 10:32 a.m.
Yeah.
It was too late for us to update the title of today's stream.
Yeah.
Rivian admitting broken trust with customers rolls back price hike after backlash. Prices for pre-orders as of March 1st will roll back to the previous price, and customers who canceled orders can reinstate them. CEO RJ, how do you pronounce that? Scaringe said in a letter.
Yeah.
All right, Pops, what is your take on what happened here with Rivian in the course of not even 24 hours, in the course of 12 hours, maybe 18?
I think they saw an opportunity, or what they thought was an opportunity to raise the prices, because they're a startup and their investors love them, but they're not making any money. They delivered 931 trucks through like the end of December, so it's not like they're delivering a lot of vehicles. But what they didn't think about is the long term, because you always talk about the long game.
The long game, yeah.
There isn't an investor out there that's thinking to themselves, this is a company that's going to make money right away.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. They're thinking of this as, I don't know, like Amazon was. How many years did it take before Amazon made a penny?
Or any company like ours. It's
Yeah.
gonna take a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when I read yesterday that they were raising the prices like 20%, I thought to myself, well, nobody's expecting you to make money. The only thing that you have to offer people is, well, goodwill.
And excitement about the brand.
Yeah.
things like that.
And you just pooped on them when it comes to goodwill by saying, hey, we know you wanted to stick with us, and we know you placed a reservation for a vehicle years ago. And even though you've been waiting patiently, well, we expect you to pay 20% more.
Yeah.
That's not goodwill. That's sticking it to people. And then after you see everybody lashing out at your company,
Yeah.
for having been so
Short-sighted.
and stupid, you say, okay, we made a mistake.
Which is why I say that's good leadership. Because bad leadership is you double down on it. Good leadership is you listen and you walk and you say, I made a mistake. We made a mistake and we're walking it back.
Yeah, well, really good leadership would be, you know what? It's all on me as the CEO. I made a huge mistake. I want to apologize to everybody, and I'm going to resign my position.
Whoa, no.
Within the company. Why not?
Come on,
Why-
man. Because mistakes get made.
Not like that.
Come on.
It's like nobody.
Resign.
It's like, and you have a leadership team.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a team, you discuss plans and things.
Doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. We make lots of mistakes.
I'm not saying you don't make mistakes. My point is, to me, it doesn't sound like anybody on their leadership team might have said, this probably isn't going to go over well.
No. There was one person who did, and she was one.
Okay. So
Whether or not RJ should be fired or not, because I wasn't expecting you to say that. I think it's a perfect example.
I don't think he should be fired. I think he should just step down.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because then you don't even get unemployment. Come on, man. Come on. He needs that
Work out a
unemployment.
severance agreement and step down.
Oh my God, I so wholeheartedly disagree.
Well, I'm entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours.
This is true.
Yeah.
One of us is a CEO, and one of us is
The CEO's father.
Hey, you took one company bankrupt. I'm
Thank
kind of
you,
like
thank you.
going down the.
No.
Hopefully not
No,
going.
no.
Okay, but here's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We're moving in the direction. This Ford news also,
Yes.
ties into this. We're moving in the direction of the OEM selling directly to consumer.
Yeah.
We've already seen this with Tesla. Tesla MSRPs change on a whim.
Yeah,
of the
but
things-
they guarantee the
No,
price
hear
for
me
the
out.
people that have ordered a car already.
100%. Hear me out here.
Yeah.
This is one of the differences between the startup automakers
Yeah.
and the legacy automakers.
Yeah.
Legacy automakers, your MSRP increases are going to be a few percentage points and typically not even within the same model year. They wait for the next model year. Sometimes there's a very small increase during the same model. Tesla, sure, they honor the price at the time of reservation,
Yes.
but they change the MSRP. Frequently, we have an article back on the
Yes,
YA
yeah,
website
no, they
about
did.
all the price changes. Rivian, this is a perfect example here. They just willy-nilly. And then for the reservation holders, that was the big screw up. And I was going to say here, this is also some of the I lost it.
Okay.
It's gone.
Well, that happens. And it'll happen more to you the older you get. And you're only 26.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a
Yes,
good point.
yes. If you're losing it now, I can only imagine what's going to
Damn.
happen. Yeah.
Damn, it's just gone, man.
But if I may, I just really believe that if you're a startup,
Mhm.
your word has to mean everything.
That was the same vein I was going to go in. It's all about building a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, hell, that's our whole business right now. You call
Yes.
us, like, you're going to get good support from Warren because he's kick ass. It's about building a relationship. Like, you email us, you get, like, and they fumbled it right there.
This was their opportunity to prove where they could have said, gee, we're going to increase prices on any
New orders.
New orders. Okay, this was your opportunity to say to the people that have tried to support you these last couple of
Yep.
years, that we appreciate your support and we're here for you, and we're consumer oriented.
Yep.
And it's like nobody thought to say to this leadership team, we shouldn't be doing this
Yep.
in
No,
the
I
manner in
hear
which
you, Pops.
I can appreciate that costs are going up, and that, yeah, I get that, but you have to think about the messages that you're sending to the public.
Let's switch gears. We got another company that's in a bit of hot water, and let's talk about that briefly. They're actually the background that you see behind us.
Yes.
Vroom.
Vroom.
Okay, this has been an incredibly precipitous drop. Okay,
Yes.
Vroom's market capitalization, 396 million.
Yeah.
Their stock price is down. Loading.
Loading.
Yeah. No chart available.
Okay.
5 years. They haven't even been public for 5 years. Why are you doing this to me, Google machine? 1 year? Refresh? Come on, Google. Do.
Anyway, their stock's down a lot.
95%. But why isn't Google showing it? Maybe Vroom's in with Google. Their stock's down 95%
Yeah.
since it went public.
Yeah.
And this has obviously got something to do with the fact that if you type in Vroom, you go to their Better Business Bureau
Yeah.
profile, we're down to a 1.13, still F,
Yeah.
still an alert for this business. It's fascinating to see Carvana's continue to grow. They're having their struggles.
Go back to the screen for 1 second.
Yeah.
If I may. Pattern of complaint beginning in January 2020. That's over 2 years ago. Okay. And they haven't been able to figure it out.
No, definitely not. Recent 2020. Here we go. January 2022. Some
Yeah.
consumers are being asked for their social security numbers, passports, birth certificates, phone bill, and lease agreement in order to move forward with the sale. When consumer rejected providing sensitive documents, the salesperson was rude, hung up, and failed to refund their money. They had to dispute it with their bank to get a resolution.
Wow. It sounds like the type of business people that I want to do business
Does
with.
Vroom make it out of 2022? I mean, I feel like they get bought. I feel like they definitely get bought by
Well,
someone.
who's buying them?
I have no clue.
Who
but, like,
wants them?
I don't know. They must have some assets.
What do they have? What do they have
Inventory.
that anybody want?
They had that really bad Super Bowl commercial.
Okay. Didn't they just align with a credit source?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a capital lender.
Yeah. I don't, Ernie Garcia's buying stuff,
Yeah.
maybe
Maybe Carvana will buy Vroom. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
CarMax will buy Vroom. But it's fascinating because there's been so much momentum. If you remember last year, used car prices going crazy. I wish I
Yes.
could get the chart of their stock to show, but like it was hot to
Yes.
trot. Buy
Yes.
cars from them. Now, like the polar opposite. You don't want to buy a car from Vroom.
And apparently you don't want to have their stock.
You really don't want to have
Yeah.
their stock.
So their high was $40.20.
No. Their high was
This is all
lean
time.
down, lean the other way. I'm gonna push you out your chair for a second. Ready? You're gonna come back. Don't move the green screen. Get out of the way. Get out of this. Keep going, pops. Their high was $43.03
Oh,
back there. That's where it started on the chart and went up over $60 a share.
wow.
It's trading at $2.85. Come on, come back. Come back. Be careful.
Here I come.
Be careful.
Yep. Oh, don't get old, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm not old.
You know, and it's also interesting if the OEMs start selling direct to consumer, because that's the other big story, obviously,
Yes.
is what's going on with Ford. Makes you wonder what's going to happen on the used car side as well. Like right now, all those off-lease vehicles, sure, they go to Carvana. All the rental vehicles, they go to Carvana. They make it to auction. But like, what's going to happen with the used cars?
Can I
Yeah,
share
please.
something with you?
Huh.
And I know I interrupt,
No, go
but
ahead.
you talk, and it just reminds me of things and
Yeah,
thoughts
go.
that I've had in my lifetime. Many years ago, probably 30 years ago, I thought to myself, there should be like nationwide used car stores. Okay.
That exists today.
And it does today. And the name and don't ask me how I came up with the name, but I thought to myself it would be like Aladdin type character on a magic carpet, and it would be called Happy Hazir's Used Car Bazaars. Okay. But my thought is that they would be all over the country, and they could do national advertising for certain, for whatever models they
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
But And literally I had this idea in my brain in the 80s, in the early 80s. And
The car bazaar, the good old car bazaar.
Happy Hazirs, used car bazaars. I mean,
You're
with
a
a
character, man.
guy on a magic carpet. I mean, I just thought, why wouldn't this work? Okay,
There's probably a lot of answers to that
well,
question.
probably, but perhaps Happy Hazirs waiting in the background to buy Vroom, and maybe that could.
Wow,
become a reality.
there's a lot to unpack there. Like that, like I think the richness that you just brought to our conversation is just like very high. The depth of thought there, how relatable it is to today's market. It's just
But literally, I mean,
okay. So here's an interesting thing that you just pulled up.
Yes.
And I saw a tweet about this actually the other day.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the concept of arbitrage?
Please explain.
Kind of like the spread between two price points. You can buy
Okay.
it at one price, or you can sell it at one price, buy it back at another price.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like arbitrage is that spread.
Okay.
Drew, sold my car to Vroom in January for $14,200. The highest they are offering now is $12,100 to sell it. The selling process was easy, but I did have to call them 8 times to get my car picked up. Glad I'm done with them. You could literally arbitrage your used car. You could have sold it. You probably still can right now because used car prices are starting to go down, and some of these companies are moving a little slower than others on their
Yes.
values. But if you had sold your car a month ago,
Yeah.
and it's still sitting on Vroom or Carvana, like you could probably buy it back now for even less. So you could have profited. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, you could have sold it to them high and buy it back from them low, because right now with their stock in the toilet, they're probably looking for ways to liquidate,
Definitely.
to get some cash.
And we've seen a continued decline in used car prices, wholesale used car prices.
Yes.
So that certainly doesn't help as well. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on at Ford. We obviously had the video that dropped today on the YAA channel. If you haven't checked that out, please do. We did a bit of an in-depth walkthrough. Justin updated this actually
Yes.
earlier this morning.
Wow.
Thank you, Justin, by the way. You're just absolutely, if you haven't read this article, please read this article.
Yes.
We do a great job of going over what is Ford Blue, what is Ford Model E, what are the implications and impacts that this is going to have, most likely into the future. So let's read this. Ford
Okay.
CEO and President Jim Farley explained the move and how it affects dealers. This came out
Yes.
in a new video. Quote, "This is only about creating incredible products, that improve over time to create a better customer experience than yesterday.
This is only about creating
Incredible products that improve over time."
The one you already bought is going to improve over time? or-
Hey,
Okay, I'm just
this is only about
trying to
creating
figure out what that means.
incredible products that improve over time to
Okay.
create a better customer experience than yesterday,
Okay.
and ultimately to win as a company. This is
Yeah.
big to me. The reality is our legacy organization has been holding us back. We need to change.
We had to change.
We wanted to change.
We had to change.
We should change.
We're changing.
There it is.
Yeah.
Dad, that is a huge
Yes.
statement
Yeah. Like
from the man at the helm
yeah.
of that organization.
we could have been more successful than we've been, but
we've been holding
put
ourselves back.
with ICE vehicles.
And not only with ICE vehicles,
Yeah.
with a worse customer experience.
Yes.
With products that don't improve over time. Like
Yeah.
that's what and Justin
Yeah.
put it here. Ford wants a certain number of dealers to opt into a new Model E sales model. Model E dealers would not hold inventory. That's huge.
Yes.
Instead, they will facilitate the delivery of online orders, much as Tesla does for their customers. Electric vehicles will be sold at non-negotiable prices. That's just one step away from direct-to-consumer sales. Our message to dealers is, this is a quote from Farley,
Yeah.
our message to dealers is, we're betting on you. Get ready to specialize, Farley said. Now, you and I have talked about this a lot. Before this news even came out, we were talking a lot about what we thought was going to happen in the future for car dealerships.
Mm-hmm.
They make a lot of money right now.
Mm.
This is not going to happen overnight. This is not going to happen without fights.
Yeah.
But this is a huge statement in the direction of we no longer need our dealer partners to sell vehicles. We still need our dealer partners to service
to
vehicles.
deliver them. We need our dealer partners to deliver the vehicles. We don't need our dealer partners to sell the vehicles.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
And it'll be fascinating. Non-negotiable price. Okay,
Yeah.
well, can you still add, door edge guards? Are you still going to add low jack? Are you still going to add the paint and interior protection? I didn't know. Like that's
if you want me to guess,
yeah.
no.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
Like,
because
if you're
all you're
Ford-
going to do
Yeah.
is you're You're not going to sell the vehicles, Mr. Dealer. You're just going to
To deliver
deliver
them.
the vehicles at already preset prices. Pretty plain and simple. Pretty much like I've been saying for months and years, geez, every manufacturer knows what every one of their vehicles sold for at each one of their dealerships, and that they should just price them at whatever the average transaction price is. So if the average transaction price on a Ford Mustang is $50,000, then you don't need to worry about them having an MSRP of 53 or an MSRP of 48. You make the manufacturer's price 50 grand, and that's what the dealer gets to sell it for. End of sentence.
Well,
and
but-
that's
but-
what they're going to be
But
doing.
the dealer's not selling it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And that's what's fascinating about this.
And
is-
in this case, the dealer's just going to deliver it.
Yeah.
The manufacturer is the one that is selling it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is really, again, like a
What-
huge shift in this industry.
What would be interesting to find out is what Ford comes up with as a compensation plan to these select group of dealers who have agreed to become, realistically, delivery centers. Now, if the average gross profit on a average retail new vehicle today is, I don't know, $3,500, but that they really don't get to sell them, they only get to deliver them, is Ford going to pay them $2,000 to deliver the vehicle?
And then if you're Ford, you're sitting in your boardroom and you're thinking to yourself, is it worth the cost infrastructure? Like what's a better cost infrastructure to have? The cost infrastructure of paying a dealership X% to deliver a car, or us setting up and going through the legal rigmarole and all the mishigas that it would take to go directly to consumer? Which one's the cost infrastructure? I bet you
Yeah.
short term, leverage the dealership. Long term, it's worth playing the long game. It's worth putting upfront dollars today to figure out the long term solution. You're not going to want, if we were selling a product, I wouldn't want to pay a royalty essentially on every single unit sold. What for? For something I could do? For something that actually, it's better said this. It's not that they can do it. It's that the markets will value them differently if they do it. Like that's what the end game is here.
Yes. They want to be valued like Tesla.
And here you go, MPEG saying, dealerships will just become used car dealers. It'll be more profitable. That's one thought. The service side is going to be really fascinating. Also because none of us, I will say none of us here, are experts in EV service. I'm not. I don't think you are.
No, I just know you go through tires quickly.
You go through tires very quickly because
Yeah.
they're so heavy.
Yes.
But the service side of this is going to be truly fascinating.
Yes.
I have no clue what's going to happen there. Do you even need as many, mausoleums that you have today?
You wouldn't think.
You wouldn't think.
And if you're going to be one of these very specialized Model E dealers,
Yeah.
you could basically set that up in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven, because you're not going to have cars
Yeah.
there.
What are you going to do with all of the space you got?
Yeah. So I would imagine the footprint of these type of dealers will be a lot smaller than what a dealership looks like traditionally today. I would just think.
It has to. There's no
Yeah.
reason to. All right, let's wrap today's show. Somber news, but it's our responsibility to bring it up. So this is from Automotive News, and I know we've got our article back on our website. It'll be updated tomorrow on our ends, but let's use Automotive News for right now. You've got Nissan.
Yes.
No more vehicle exports to Russia, and they expect production stoppages in Europe as well. We've got VW, Porsche, Bentley. Their exports to Russia have been stopped as well. German automakers warn of more production fallout from Ukraine crisis. Mercedes is forced to cut shifts. So we're starting to see production in Europe actually
Yes.
stop
Yes.
as a result of what's
Yes.
happening. Europe's auto production crashes as flow of wire harnesses dries up. Automakers including VW, BMW, and Porsche are struggling to obtain crucial wire harnesses as suppliers in Western Ukraine have been shuttered by the Russian invasion of the country, forcing production stops at car factories in Germany. Toyota to suspend Russian car production, vehicle imports. Same story there. Honda suspending sales in Russia. Ford suspending all operations in the Ukraine. VW warns of more production cuts as the Ukraine crisis hits suppliers. Renault shares crushed by concerns about automakers. Russia exposure, Jaguar and Aston. I mean,
It just
it's
doesn't
everywhere.
stop.
It's
Yes.
absolutely everywhere.
Yes.
So it's incredibly sad for like the very obvious human reasons. And then economically, it's unknown how this is going to impact us, but it doesn't look pretty.
No, I would say that there will be all types of shortages in things that we haven't even thought of yet. It's not good when the world goes to hell in a handbasket, but
Oh, it's so sad.
it's happened before.
It's so sad,
and it
yeah.
will probably happen again. And hopefully we can get through this relatively unscathed, and hopefully relatively quickly.
And Peg in the chat saying, my Tesla Model 3 weighs the exact same as my Kia Stinger did. A lot of electric vehicles, because the battery packs are very, very heavy.
Yes.
Like the same heft as a pickup truck, and you don't really realize that when you're hopping in your ID4. Igor in the chat saying, Zach, dealerships aren't going anywhere. Service and maintenance and body work will still be needed. I agree, Igor. I don't know if they'll be called dealerships when all they're offering is service, maintenance, and body work.
Yeah.
I think they'll be called repair centers or
Yes.
service centers. And again, I don't think this is overnight. It's obviously not.
Oh,
overnight.
no, it's not overnight, but you have to think that Ford's Model E is going to be relatively quickly.
I mean,
because
why
they're
else would they?
expecting to really be big players.
You've got 200,000 reservations for your Lightning.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if by 2025 they're not doing their first direct-to-consumer type sales, like through their partners, their dealer partners,
Yeah.
but like it's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you've got here from Andrew. I agree with this. Very large automotive groups may survive, but the little guys will all be gone. Yeah, we've already started to see that.
Yeah.
The
The
consolidation.
consolidation has been pretty remarkable over the last 18 months or so.
Yeah, it really has. It really has. Okay, let's call today's show here. We'll be back for Friday with Miss Kimberly Klein tomorrow. So looking
Yes.
forward to that. So please be sure to tune
The
in.
F&I got us.
The F&I got us.
Yes.
Go watch the video we just dropped on Ford if you haven't already. We get
Yeah.
into the weeds of that and everything that's going on there. Today, Dad, we drove. What did we drive?
We drove a 2022 Audi Avant
RS6
RS6, which
is your new favorite car.
is my new favorite car, and at almost 71,
You're starting to save $135,000.
I have a new goal in life, and that is to one day motor up to my local Costco in my Audi Avant RS6.
Holy poop. Incredible vehicle.
Yes.
It's the best handling vehicle I've ever driven. It is quiet and nice on the inside when you want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a spaceship when you want it to be.
Yes.
I was getting on the highway and you were
Yeah, you apparently hit the to the moon button.
yeah,
Yeah.
space in the chat
Yeah.
saying wow, and with hard eyes. We both had hard eyes today, Mario.
Yeah,
That thing was
it's my new dream car. I must admit.
591 pound-feet of torque, 590 horsepower.
Other way around.
591 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque.
Yes.
You could fit your kids in there. I mean,
Yeah. Hell, you could just let them roll around in the back. Yeah. 0 to 60 in the 3 point. Some say 3.1 seconds. Some say 3.5 seconds. Who's going to argue over about 0.4 tenths of a second or whatever
Yeah.
it was? It is remarkably fast. It handles remarkably well. And it is just an absolute pleasure to drive.
So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Mike Dean. We agree. It's good to see you here as well. And Leon says, lease it, Dad. Come on, just lease it. Just
Yeah.
negotiate. Prove to us you can negotiate a car deal. Come on now. Prove to me
now,
that.
Wait. You said while we were driving. So I ran a market search for a
Yeah.
500-mile radius for one of these. And there were how many in the market again?
I mean, we can double check, but I was searching and I couldn't find a single one for sale.
Okay. So, yeah. I'm sure there's just a ton of great programs from Audi on that car. But I would do that car in a heartbeat.
Let's see. RS6 Avant.
Yeah.
Yeah, none.
No matching vehicles found.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in a heartbeat, it was.
The thing is, there's RS6. I mean, these are old,
Yeah.
obviously. And that's the cool thing about bringing the RS6 Avant to the United States is it was Euro spec for the longest time. You couldn't even get it. the Avant in the United States, and
Yes.
to drive in that today was
What a great vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'll say.
really was. Okay,
Yeah.
let's wrap today's show. Stay tuned. That's going to come out on the YAA channel in a little bit,
Yes.
sometime next week. In the meantime, Stephen with the kind word. Thank you, guys. That's a cute avatar.
Yeah.
Empowering buyers. I just picked up my Yukon Denali and used the "Don't you want me as a long-term customer" pitch to get them to knock the dealer off the dealer markup. That's going to get a quick.
Ray Shefska stamp of approval, ladies and gentlemen.
And we are going to run on through the remainder of our day. Appreciate all of you guys being here.
Thank you all for being here today. We'll see you all tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Thanks, pups.
Thank you, honey.